today we are going to talk about how to create a mood board. So today's actually like a continuation of what I talked about last week on how to curate images for your brand. So welcome everyone. Welcome if you're watching the replay. You're always welcome to. So my name is Sibila. See, I remembered a few minutes later, but I did remember. And I am here to talk about how to create a mood board. Like I was saying, this is actually like a kind of a part 2 of what I talked about last week on how to curate images for your brand. We're going to start off from the Pinterest board that you started creating last week. So from that, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to start sharing my screen. The mood board that we created last week, I think I kind of called it Sibila Brand Inspiration. I just renamed it to Brand Inspiration, and I pinned a few things to show you how like your brain could work around and doing that search on the words and on the tone words for your brand, on those extra words that you can combine them with. So this is the board I created. There's I believe about 90 or 80 pins in here. And what I wanted to show you basically is how after you pinned a lot, I mean, I did pin about 80 or 90, like I said, but you could definitely pin more images to your brand inspiration board. But from what I see here from my pins, I noticed that there's a lot of purples and a lot of teals and some patterns that are related to purples and teals and pinks. So what I did here is, like I said, like I was talking about last week, is the more you actually pin or you focus on pinning visuals that are related to your brand using your words, using your tone words, your home feed is going to start populating with related images over time. So if you do it, for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days or 5 days or over a week, that's going to end up happening. You're going to be seeing more and more images that are related to your brand because that's what you're looking for. So at this point, after you start pinning everything, what happens is what you need to do now is narrow all of those images down and to refine those visuals. So when you go through your brand, your board, not your brand, when you go through your Pinterest board, you'll see some images that even though you like them, they're not really, it's kind of like almost like they stand out. They don't really match everything else. So for example, right now what I see is I see this image here that I pinned and it's way too dark. So for everything else, for the overall feel of my board here. In this case here, I forgot to mention this. In this case here, last week I was doing it using the minimalist style. Like I was using modern, sleek, simple. Those were the words. For this one, I used calm, relaxing. I was more into like it's somewhat more like I was a yoga studio or a yoga teacher trying to put together my brand. So I had my head more on that, and I picked those words. So anyway, so these are, for example, I go through this and I find some images that just stand out, meaning like they don't really match. So in this case, I come over here and I start deleting it. So what it means is, what I'm doing is I'm narrowing down, I'm cleaning up my board, because you might end up with a board full of pins, like, I don't know, 200 pins, or who knows, 500 pins. You definitely don't want 500 pins, it's way too much. But I'd say 200 pins is a lot, and it's a good amount, but you end up with a lot of images that have nothing to do with your brand, even though those are images that came up and you did pin. So this one too, this one seems, even though it has the purples that my board shows a lot, it's too dark. So I'm going to go ahead and delete it. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going through this process a few times. Again, I see one here that's too dark. I'm going to delete that one. And then, more and more you'll see your board shaping up to some colors and a style and more of a feel of your brand. So again, discard anything that doesn't feel coherent with your image, with your visuals, and that it looks like it doesn't belong. So get rid of all of that. again, don't overthink it. These images are not final images for your brand. They're basically just your inspiration. You're gonna put together your mood board with this. So, and again, like the Pinterest board is not your brand. So don't worry about it. Don't overthink this. But from this, after you narrow everything down and you get rid of those outliers, you're going to start, I want you to pick between 8 and 12 images from this board that you think are more in tune with your style, with the style, your brand style. So with, what you picked. So what I did here, I kind of already went ahead and I selected a few, so for the sake of time, but you go through it and you'll definitely have images that you like more. So what I want you to do is, when you're doing that, I want you to look for images that have patterns, images that have fonts or, typography fonts in them. Maybe images that have a color combination or color palette if you find it. In this case, I have this one, even though this one I didn't pick because it doesn't have anything to do with what I had decided. So, but look for these because these are going to help you, again, pick the elements for your brand, like fonts and colors and all of that stuff. From this board here, I went for teals and purples and pinks. I kind of went through that because that's what I saw most on my board. I also saw a lot of sand style, like colors, sandy, I would call it, like cream styles, but they all tend to be pinkish or purplish. This one has the teal in it too. It's pretty much, again, you're going to go through your board and you're going to find, like I was talking about last week, you're going to find a pattern of colors, a pattern of patterns, a pattern of fonts or styles that you like the most, that are more related to your brand tone words. Okay, so from this, what you do is you save these images. So last week I actually had Lori in, and she had a good question about how she can't really get to the images, or she clicks on the images and she goes to like a 404 page, which means it's a non-existent page. That's what 404 means. Or the images are not high resolution, they're low resolution, which is fine. Exactly, that doesn't exactly have anything to do with what we're doing. We actually just need, even if it's a low resolution image, it's fine too. So I'm going to show you how to save these images from your Pinterest board. So for example, let me pick one here that I actually have on my board already. So I decided to pick this one as one of my 8 to 12 images, and you can click on it and you see a bigger version of it. And from here, what you do is, there's two things you can do. You can just right click with your mouse and go ahead and just save image as, and then save it to your desktop, save it to your computer. Or you can go ahead, if you're in Chrome, I'm almost sure that on PC it shows the same way, but on a Mac you can also do open image in a new tab. What it does is you can actually see the image, the whatever big size the image is. You'll see the original image, because what happens is sometimes Pinterest has a specific size for this area here, and that's the size they'll show. This image might even be bigger, but they actually shrink it. So again, there's two ways you could do it. You can just right click, save image as, or open it in a new tab. It's like a two-step. And then once you open in a new tab, then you can save it again, because you can see how big the image actually is. Sometimes it's going to be a very tiny image and you might not even want to use that one. So that's a way that you can save it. So you can save it on your computer. Here they are. These are some of the images I picked from that board. And I have them in a folder here called Images Mood Board. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into Canva and type in, if you don't need a pro account for this, just a free account in Canva is fine. All I did was I typed in a mood board in the search bar inside Canva, and you'll see a whole bunch of mood boards, actually, templates for mood boards. You can actually pick any of these and start off from them. For example, I can pick this one and just start my mood board from here. But what I really like to do is I actually like to start from scratch, because you kind of get stuck with how Canva puts together the templates. So what I do is I like to start from scratch. So what I do is I start with create a design, and then I go for custom dimensions. Again, you can make this square, you can make this rectangle, it doesn't really matter. I am going to do this 2000 pixels by 1500 pixels. So it's not completely square. So this is my document, and what I'm going to do is, and you can do the same exact thing, I'm going to go into elements and then look for the group that says grids, and if you can't find it, you can type in grids in the search bar here, but you're probably able to find it because it's right here, grids. And then you're going to click on see all, and then you see all of these templates for for you to put together a grid. So we can start with these. I did pick, I believe, 13 images. But I'm not going to use all of those. So let's say I can, I'll pick this one. Let me see, this one. I'll pick this one, this grid right here. And in here, what you can start doing is you can actually just go ahead and start pulling in your images from here. So for example, let me show you. Again, here are my images. So I'm just going to literally just grab them and drag them all the way into Canva. So this is the one that I have right here. So right now, I can put this right here. Now, here's the thing. Let me show you this. This is an interesting thing. What I like about this image is not all of the images that are in it, because as I'm sure you can see, this image right here has several pictures put together. But what I really like about this one is this. Let me see if I can pull this up right here. I really like these stones. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to enlarge this to make this fit right here. So as you can see, even though the image is this image right here, which is really big, this is the image right here. I like all of them, actually. They all have the teal, but I wanted to go for this one. So I just pretty much just brought the whole image into Canva and then just resized it in that little square. Now my other images are the same. So for example, I have this one. This is another one that I picked, and I can show you the same reasoning behind this. This is another one I picked right here. It also has a lot of images, but which one do I like? I really like this one. That's actually a few ones that I like, and I like this one, but I love the eye one, and I love the pink, pinkish here. But this is the one I'm actually going to pick because this has a bit of a purplish style to it. So I'm going to actually bring this back into Canva. I'll just move this away, put this right here. And I'm going to do the same thing, try to see, maybe this won't fit here so well, and make this fit. Let's see. There, I think it goes right there. Okay, so now I already have two images in here. Now, as you can see, this template that I brought in only has spots for 5 images. But I can go ahead and actually bring in more if I want, or I can actually create my own. So I want to show you how you can create your own. So I'm going to delete this. Oh my gosh, I deleted everything. And you can do, instead of grids, instead of using the grid itself, because the grid is ready to go, you can use these, which is frames. Right under grids, there's shapes, but you want to go for frames, right? It says frames here. You're going to see click to see all, and you're going to pick, let me see if I find the square. Yeah, right here. I just found the square. There it is. And then I can just make the grid I want. Whatever grid it is, I can just, then I can duplicate this. I may put another one here. And then I can go ahead and make, I don't know, a bigger one. So again, I can keep going and I can create my own. You know, basically there's 3 ways. I actually talked about the 2 ways, but there's 3. You can go back. You can just pick one from here and start from there. You can create your own using one of the grids, or you can actually create your own like this. So I'm going to go back and woo, 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 and go back to here. And I'm going to keep going here with these 5 spaces I have because I want to keep showing you. So now I have another one here that I really like. Where did it go? Right here. This one, what I like about this one is actually the little logo that's in here. Oops. That's in this picture here. There you go. So there. See, I like that logo right there. The other one I like from these is this bathtub one. So I'm going to bring this one in as well. And this one is almost like my lifestyle image. Remember I talked about bringing a lifestyle image? It's a good one too. The office. I like that one too. So that's my office right there. Okay, so as you can see, I'm putting together a board. I only have 5 images here, but you can definitely do with more. But as you can see, the more you put images together, the more you see your images and your colors coming along. So in this case here, with this brand right here, I can tell right away that this brand is definitely going to have a teal a teal color. It's probably going to be the main color of the brand, with some touches of maybe purple or pink. I'd say more in the pinkish style, maybe purple, like this chair here, or maybe on the pinkish, yeah, dark pink. You can play around with this for sure. And this is the type of logo that I liked. So you can also use this as inspiration for your own logo. So for example, right here, like whatever, like I like it because it's a framed logo, or I like it because it has a symbol. So this is how we start to put together a mood board. Now, don't take this as your final mood board. It doesn't have to be. You might actually just, as you're putting it together, you might completely fall in love with everything that you have there. But this is a start. So after you put together this mood board, that's when you kind of move on to deciding your colors and all of that. So I want to show you, before I go, I actually want to show you how you can go ahead and just decide on colors right away if you find an image that has all of the colors you want to use for your brand, that has all the colors that actually relate to your brand. Remember, this is all back to the brand tone words that we talked about last week. So we're not just picking colors out of nowhere. This is actually some work that we do beforehand. So I want to show you two websites that you can use. This one is from Canva. It's a Canva page. I'm actually going to put this link on this post after I'm done with the live. That you can just bring in an image, and what Canva is going to do is Canva is actually going to just show you what colors you can use from that image. So here it goes. I just picked this one, and here it goes. This is really cool. This is what it does. So from this image, Canva gave me these colors here for my brand. Now, you don't have to use these, of course, but this is a great way to find colors for your brand, or the colors that you like from an image. The other website that you can use is Adobe website. I'm also going to put this link in this post after the live, but it works the same way. So right now, let's say I pick this color right here. I mean, not this color, this picture. And here it goes. With the Adobe website, what you can do is you can actually move things around. So for example, I don't want the green, but I do like, let's say, the color of the wall. I don't know if the wall is, in the cream color. So you can move things around. So you can move them around, and as you can see, the colors change here. So I can actually pick colors for my brand like that. So these are the two websites that you can use, and of course, you pretty much need an image to find these colors. But you can go ahead and do several. You don't have to just do one image. You can actually, if you have like 2 or 3 images you love, you can actually go ahead and upload them and find these colors. So that's it for today. This is the mood board I wanted to show you. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you again next week. Take care.